Ever wondered how a small Dutch trading post on a wild island became the city that never sleeps? This is the epic story of New York City, a tale of ambition, conflict, and reinvention. Before the skyscrapers, before the yellow cabs, before even the name New York, this land was Lenapehoking, home to the Lenape people for thousands of years. They were the original inhabitants, living in a landscape of forests, hills, and marshes. Their lives were tied to the seasons, hunting, fishing, and farming on the island they called Mannahatta, meaning land of many hills. Then, in 1609, everything changed. An English explorer named Henry Hudson, sailing for the Dutch, navigated the river that would one day bear his name. He was searching for a passage to Asia, but instead, he found a land rich with resources, especially beaver pelts, which were like gold in Europe. This discovery kicked off a new era. By 1624, the Dutch West India Company had established a settlement. They called it New Amsterdam, and it was a rough-and-tumble outpost at the southern tip of Manhattan. This wasn't a place for the faint of heart. It was a chaotic mix of traders, sailors, and settlers from all over the world, all looking to make a fortune. Famously, in 1626, Dutch Governor Peter Minuit supposedly purchased Manhattan Island from the Lenape. The details are fuzzy, but it's a foundational story of the city, highlighting the massive cultural and economic clash that was underway. Life in New Amsterdam was tough, with constant threats from rival European powers and growing tensions with the native Lenape, who were being pushed off their ancestral lands. In 1664, the English sailed into the harbor and took control without a single shot fired. The Dutch governor, Peter Stuyvesant, was furious but outnumbered. King Charles II of England gave the colony to his brother, the Duke of York, and the city was renamed New York. Under English rule, the city grew steadily. Its port became one of the most important in the American colonies, a hub for trade in flour, lumber, and, tragically, enslaved people. By the 1700s, New York was a diverse but deeply unequal society. It had one of the largest urban slave populations in the colonies, and the seeds of revolution were beginning to sprout. When the American Revolution broke out, New York was at the heart of the conflict. It was a strategic prize, and the British captured it early in the war, occupying it for 7 long years. It became a refuge for loyalists and a prison for captured American patriots. The city suffered immensely, with fires destroying large parts of it. But when the war ended and the British finally evacuated in 1783, New York was ready for its next chapter. For a brief time, from 1785 to 1790, it even served as the first capital of the United States. It was right here, on Wall Street, that George Washington was inaugurated as the first president. The 19th century was when New York truly exploded. The opening of the Erie Canal in 1825 was a gift. It connected the Atlantic Ocean to the Great Lakes, making New York City the undisputed economic capital of America. Goods and people flowed through its port like never before. This was the age of immigration. Millions of people, primarily from Ireland and Germany, poured into the city, fleeing famine and seeking opportunity. They crammed into overcrowded tenements, particularly on the Lower East Side, facing poverty and discrimination, but bringing an incredible energy and resilience that would define the city's character. This rapid growth also brought immense challenges. Gangs roamed neighborhoods like the 5 Points. Sanitation was abysmal, and political corruption was rampant, with organizations like Tammany Hall controlling city politics for decades. Yet, amidst the chaos, the city was building its future. Central Park was created, a massive green oasis in the middle of the urban grid. The iconic Brooklyn Bridge, a marvel of engineering, stitched the cities of New York and Brooklyn together in 1883. And in 1898, the 5 boroughs Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, and Staten Island consolidated to form the greater New York City we know today. The early 20th century saw New York reach new heights, literally. The city entered a skyscraper race, with the Chrysler Building and the Empire State Building piercing the clouds, symbols of American ambition and ingenuity. This was the Jazz Age, the Harlem Renaissance, a time of incredible cultural flourishing. But it was also a time of extremes. The Roaring Twenties gave way to the Great Depression, which hit New York hard. Yet, the city endured, with massive public works projects under Mayor Fiorello, LaGuardia, and planner Robert Moses, reshaping the urban landscape with new parks, bridges, and highways. After World War II, New York became a global capital. The United Nations established its headquarters on the East River, cementing the city's role as a center for international diplomacy. It was the epicenter of abstract expressionism in art, the Beat Generation in literature, and countless musical movements, from bebop to folk to punk rock and hip-hop. But the post-war decades also brought urban decay and a fiscal crisis in the 1970s that nearly bankrupted the city. Crime rates soared, and the Bronx was burning. For a moment, it seemed like the city's best days were behind it, but you can never count New York out. The 1980s and 90s brought a remarkable turnaround. Wall Street boomed, and a concerted effort to clean up the city and reduce crime, most famously under Mayor Rudy Giuliani, transformed places like Times Square from seedy districts into global tourist destinations. The city once again became a magnet for people from all over the world, drawn by its energy, diversity, and the promise that anything is possible here. Then came September 11th, 2001. The attacks on the World Trade Center were a profound trauma, a scar in the city's heart and its skyline. The world watched in horror, but they also watched in awe as New Yorkers responded with incredible courage, resilience, and unity. In the aftermath of the tragedy, the city grieved, but it also began to rebuild. The Freedom Tower, One World Trade Center, rose from the ashes, a powerful symbol of defiance and remembrance. Today, New York City continues to evolve. It faces 21st century challenges like affordability, climate change, and social inequality, but it remains what it has always been: a dynamic, chaotic, and endlessly fascinating place. It's a city of 8 million stories, where over 800 languages are spoken. It's a global center for finance, fashion, art, and food. From a small Lenape village to a Dutch trading post to the capital of the world, the history of New York City is a testament to the power of reinvention and the enduring spirit of the people who call it home. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more deep dives into history. See you next time.